So yesterday we were studying about a current carrying conductor. Okay, just a small revision, students. Just a small revision. That is, there is a current carrying conductor. The first thing you need to do is set. You'll have to draw a diagram. Okay, after drawing this diagram, basically you see a current carrying conductor. There is a magnetic field. So the first thing that should come into your mind is you have to set the direction of the current. So I set the direction of the current, that is I. Okay, when I set the direction of the current I, that is in case if it is not given to you. If it is given to you, no problem. Then the second thing you need to do is you have to set the direction of the length vector dl over here. You can see this dl. Yeah, you have to set that vector. Okay, you should always take the length vector in the direction of the current. That is a main important concept. It's an important thing. Once you do that, you can simply apply this formula. df is equal to idl cross b. Okay, this or f is equal to il cross b. In that case, you can see L and B are vectors. Apply your right hand rule. Put your four fingers. Put your four. Align them towards the length vector, which is in the direction of the current, and curl your four fingers towards the magnetic field. In that case, your thumb will represent what? It will represent the force. Okay. So dF is equal to IDL cross B. Now there was a student who had asked me one doubt regarding conservation of force. See, I'll tell you one thing. This is actually not a simple and an easy concept to explain. The reason is because conservation of force for a magnetic field is there are various concepts you have to learn before you come to know that. Okay, so the easiest way to tell you is because you have to learn what is grad. Okay, there is another mathematical concept you have to learn regarding grad, and that actually will give you an idea, but it is non-conservative in nature. The reason is because if you see F is equal to what is Lorentz force, students? What is Lorentz force? F is equal to what? Can you tell me what was it? It was QE plus QV cross B. Yeah. So here, students, what happened? You can see that the force depends upon what? The charge, the position of the charge, the velocity vector, and the magnetic field. Conservation of charge says that it is if it is a conservative force, it has to be independent of the path. But from the Lorentz force itself, you can see that it depends upon the path. It does depend on the path. So that way, I can say that it is not a conservative force. Second question which I was asked was, second doubt which was asked was, what if there was an insulator on the conductor, and if that is the case, then what will be the effect on a charge which is besides it? So consider this to be a charge, students. Okay. Now, when you say a conductor, there are many types of conductors. So what conductor are you talking about? If it is just an electrical conductor, that doesn't make sense, because magnetic field will pass through that. Magnetic field will anyways have a certain effect. If this charge is their q, okay, this charge is their q, it is having some velocity v. Okay, the magnetic field caused due to this current carrying conductor will definitely have an effect of it, even though you keep an electrical conductor here. But if suppose it is a insulator, which has a potential to actually repel the magnetic field, in that case, yes, then I can say that the charge might not be affected. And there are some materials like that. One of the best examples is a superconductor. So you can learn about it. Okay, although that is a deep concept, students. These things are taught in your third semester of engineering, if suppose, regarding the conservation of force and all. In simple terms, definitely anyone can explain, but to understand a deep association with it, you'll have to get a lot of information. So that was the two doubts that I could solve. Okay, fine. We'll go to there are certain concepts for conservation of charge regarding magnetic field. You have to learn the concepts of curl as well. Curl of a vector. See, vectors, what you're studying right now is nothing related to what you will be studying in the future. If suppose you're going for physics as a BSc physics, or someone wants to go for engineering, electrical engineering, or whatever, mechanical, you will have vectors. You'll have to study vectors. Okay. So many concepts to learn before some fantastic doubts that you all are asking needs to be cleared up. Okay. So students, just this now. Let's look at case one. Okay, we understood what is going to be the case when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, and how do we choose? So case one. Let's look at case one, students. Case one is when the magnetic field is perpendicular inside. Okay, is inside, and I have a current carrying conductor. I have a current carrying conductor which is placed like this. So first thing, students, what do I need to do to find out the force? Please tell me, everyone, what do I need to do? First, I have to set the direction of the current.
Yes,
So I
sir.
set it like this. Second thing, what I have to do, students? Second thing, I have to set the direction of the length vector. This is my length vector dl. Then what I have to do? Then I have to use my right hand rule. Apply dl cross b. B is inside the plane, dl is like this. Apply the formula, apply the right hand thumb rule, you will get the force to be somewhat like this. So what is the force magnitude of this force, students? F is equal to what? I L cross B. So my first case is when theta equals to pi by 2. Theta equals to pi by 2 means theta equal to pi by 2. What is the meaning of this? A segment of straight wire carrying current is kept in a perpendicular magnetic field. Where is it kept? See, you can see the wire and the magnetic field are perpendicular to each other. They are perpendicular in nature to each other. In that case, theta is pi by 2. And so F, which is equal to IL cross B, will give me what? IL B sine theta. And what is sine pi by 2 here? Sine pi by 2 is 1. So F is equal to ILB. What is F is equal to? F is equal to ILB. You can even consider it, in case you want to remember it, you can consider it as BIL. BIL. That's an easy way to remember. So here, I is what? I is the current going through the conductor. L is the length of the wire. L is the length of the wire. Okay. That is two important concepts for you to remember. Let's go to some exercises so that these concepts become much more easier. Let's go to some questions. Right. So let's say this is my magnetic field. And in this case, students, let me say that my conductor is like this and it has a current I passing through it. In that case, can you tell me where is the force, students? Left, right, top, down? Can you tell me the force? Which direction is the force?
So left.
Yeah, left. So y'all can write that down in the chats, okay? So here, look here. What is this? First, you have to select. You know the current is going upwards. Take the length vector also to be in the upward direction, like this. This is dl. Now, once you do that, you know magnetic field and the length vector have a relation with each other as cross products. Apply your right hand rule, okay, in the direction of the current and which is also in the direction of the length vector. Curl your fingers towards the magnetic field and you get a thumb which is on the left side. So the force here will be like this. Force will be F is equal to what? Can you see the relation here? The length vector is perpendicular to the magnetic field. So I can say ILB directly. F is equal to ILB directly. Now in case, students, in case this magnetic, in case this conductor over here was not in that direction, let's say the conductor over here was in this direction, and the current carrying in this carried by this conductor is in this direction. In that case, where is the force? In that case, where is the force, students? Okay, it is in the, please respond. It seems easy. As we go complex sums, it becomes difficult. So here see, I goes here, you take a vector dl in the same direction, apply a right hand rule, curl your fingers, the magnetic force is coming out to be upwards. So F is, in this case, F is equal to again ILB, because theta is equal to pi by 2. Theta again equals to pi by 2. But suppose I say, let's keep doing some sums. Okay, let's say the current carrying in this conductor I is downwards. In that case, where is my force, students? Where is the force? No one seems to respond. Why is that? Where is the force? Take
Right side.
a length vector here, right? Correct. dl. Okay. Important thing is you have to take this length dl. Okay. And you apply your right hand rule here. Curl your fingers towards the magnetic field, and you definitely have a force which is on the right hand side. Okay. Some simple concepts that we are doing. So you understood what is going to be the force and in which direction it is going to be in. But what if I tell you, students, everyone has to respond for this. Let's say this is a conductor connected like this. There's a current I passing like this. In that case, students, what is going to be the magnitude of the force, and in what direction, considering this is A, this is B, and this is C. This is a single conductor which has been bent. It is a single conductor which has been bent, and the current passing through this conductor AB, okay, AB is equal to BC is equal to I. Current passing through both these branches is I. So in that case, what is the magnitude of the force? First, what you'll do, students, please respond. First, what is the first step?
So DL.
DL. So I will take DL here, and then another DL over here. So let's consider the first branch AB. So when we're considering the first branch AB, where is going to be the force? In which direction?
Left side.
Left side. It's going to be in the left side. Apply a right hand rule across DL. Curl your fingers towards the magnetic field. You have a thumb going in the left side. So of course F is equal to ILB here. And what about the branch BC? Where is it going to be? Where is the force going? Upwards, students. So F is equal to again ILB. So if you know that the force here is in this direction and the force here is in this direction, then what is going to be the resultant force? What is going to be the resultant force? You can actually extend this here like this. Extend it down. So if this is force and this is force here, right here, what will be the resultant force equal to?
Root 2 ILB.
Root 2 ILB.
Root 2 ILB. Okay, this is simple as that. Pythagoras theorem you can just apply over here. Take this entire thing and shift it up. You will get ILB whole square plus ILB whole square. What you end up getting is root 2 ILB. So force, the magnitude of force is root 2 ILB. Now let's go to the next question, students. Not next question, let's go to a next concept. This seems to be a good exercise. Okay, the next concept is about a magnetic field which is perpendicular like this inside the board. It is going inside the board. It is inside and it is perpendicular with a current carrying conductor, but this time the current carrying conductor is somewhat like this. So then what is the force? What will be your approach? So the thing is, let's consider this current carrying conductor to have a starting point, some starting point A and starting point B. In that case, students, the first thing you should understand is, let's say that the current is going in this direction I from A to B. The first thing is, I told you, you have to take a length vector dl. But this time what you'll do, you will take a length vector which is only a small proportion of it, dl. In that case, force dl cross b is like this. dl cross b comes up upwards. The force comes upwards, somewhat like this. F is equal to ILB. But the catch over here is that once you find out dl, you will have to keep taking dl at every point like this. At every point like this, and you will have to integrate all the forces you get because of this length. So I am going to tell you, if I give you a question like this, a wire like this, which is somewhat in an irregular shape, then you will have to take a small proportion of it, dl. You will have to find out the force because of that, and then you will have to integrate all the dls which is causing the forces to be perpendicular to the wire. Okay, but there is a trick here. There is a trick here. We don't need to do that. The trick here is to directly take a length vector like this, which starts at the starting point, ends at the ending point, and you can consider this entire thing to be dl. Sorry, L. Of course, it's not a dl now, it is L. So from the starting point, listen to me, again I'm telling you, any wire which is in the curl form, just take a length vector which is starting at A and B, take the shortest path you can ever find. The shortest path is of course a straight line. And so take the length vector to be the shortest route of the wire from the starting point to the ending point. What will be the entire length of this? LAB. LAB. In that case, students, then DF is equal to IDL cross B. And if you want to find out F, it is the integration of DF, which is again an integration of DL vector only cross B. But what are the limits for DL here? A and B. So what will you get, students? What will you get? I will write it here. F is equal to what? I LAB into B sin theta. But if suppose your theta, okay, is pi by 2, then it will be ILAB into B. Some easy sums that will go across right now. Okay. Hope you all have understood that concept. And of course, the length vector has to be in the direction of the current only. The length vector has to be in the direction of the current only. So let's consider a semicircular wire now. A semicircular wire is there of radius r. Listen to the question. A semicircular wire of radius r carrying current I, if kept in a uniform magnetic field, determine the magnitude and direction of the force on the wire. So let's say that this is my magnetic field, students. This is my magnetic field. I've kept it in this form right here. And I have a semicircular wire here in this form. It is having a current here. Let's consider this to be A and B. Then you have to determine the magnitude of the force and the direction of the force. Can anyone tell me how to do it quickly? First, I have to consider what? A length vector.
Consider the shortest distance, which is the diameter.
Shortest distance. Yes. Now I won't take a length vector at the tangential point of the curl. Okay, I won't do that. I will take the shortest distance. That is, this is my shortest distance, students. And first, after determining that, after drawing that length vector, I will also determine the direction. That is important. The direction is very important. It's a vector. Of course, it is LAB. The vector has to be in the direction of the current itself. You can see the current is going from A to B. So my length vector also will be from A to B, and therefore LA to B. Okay, LAB. Now, once you have got that, apply your right hand rule. LAB. Okay, IL cross B. L cross B. The force is upwards. The force is upwards, students. This is my force going to be upwards, F. Okay. Now we have to determine the magnitude. Magnitude is simple. F is equal to what? You can see here ILAB, okay, into magnetic field B. Okay, sine theta, of course. But theta here is what? Theta here is, look at this length with respect to this length vector and magnetic field. Theta is again pi by 2. So sine theta gets eliminated from here. We get F is equal to ILAB into B. But students, listen to me. Listen to me. This is what? A semicircle. So can we write the length in terms of radius? Can we do that? So in that case, if this is a semicircle having a radius R, then what is the entire diameter? LAB will be equal to what? 2R.
2R.
Yeah. So you can have questions like this where you will be asked to express it in the form of radius. That time don't get surprised. This is as simple as it gets. I not R, 2R into B. So be careful of the options that you receive in your exams. Sometimes you might get IRB and you'll tick mark that is wrong. I2RB. Okay. Now, let's go to another question. This time I'm sorry, I rubbed that magnetic field here. I should not rub this. Okay. Now let's consider that there is a, students listen to me, there is a conductor, but this time it is a quarter. It's in a shape of a quarter. Not even a quarter. Let's consider that like this. It is having some curl, you can see it. So a quarter of a wire of radius R, okay, it is given quarter of a wire of radius R carrying current I, if kept in a uniform magnetic field as shown, determine the magnitude of the force on the wire. This is the question. So they are telling you already that it is a part of a circle. They're saying it's a quarter of a wire of radius R. So how do I solve this question, students? First, I consider 2 points, A, B. If in the question they have given you the current to be in this direction, then first thing to do is, tell me students, consider the length vector. Length vector will be from which, towards which direction, students? Towards B or A? Give me a response.
A to B.
It will
A
be
to
from
B.
A to B. It will be from A to B, students. Okay. So I will take a length vector like this, A to B. So in that case, I will name this LAB, of course. The direction of the force will be in where will it be? Upwards, downwards, where? Tell me quickly. No wasting time. It will be, apply a right hand rule towards the
Down.
length vector.
Upwards.
See
Downward.
this. Why downwards?
Sir, because the current is in left direction, so by applying right hand thumb rule.
Is it in left direction?
So sorry, right direction.
Yeah. So it. Yeah. So see, we have to apply the right hand rule. That is why I am doing this. Okay. So take your right hand rule, take it towards the length vector. Okay. Curl it towards the magnetic field. My thumb is in which direction, students? Upwards, no? The
Upwards.
force will be upwards. Yeah. So there should not be any doubt like this, huh? I mean, there should not be any doubt in your mind by now, at least. So if you are telling me that without doing right hand rule, so I want you to know that sometimes we tend to do that, and that is a wrong approach, because we make mistakes. We are human beings and we definitely make mistakes. So trust your right hand. Your right hand is the best thing to do. Okay, it's a good thing. So apply your right hand. Doesn't take too much time. So in that case, my force will be upwards. Force will be having a magnitude of what? Now there is a catch there. Force has a magnitude, but we have to find out that magnitude. Okay. So of course I know that it is going to be IL cross B, and here it is going to be ILB sine theta, students. Theta I know is equal to pi by 2, of course, because my length vector is the magnetic field and the length vector are perpendicular to each other. So my force F is going to be equal to ILAB into B. But the question says I want the length vector to be in the form of radius. I want the length vector to be in the form of radius, because the question itself is like this: a quarter of a wire of radius r. So in that case, I cannot put length AB. How do I find out of course, magnitude?
Theta equal to L by R.
Someone says theta equal to L by R. Here, great. So that is what I will do. See, listen to me, students. Of course, I know that this quarter here, which I have drawn in blue over here, this quarter over here, is a part of a circle. So if it is a part of a circle, can I say it is like this, somewhat like this? If I complete the diagram, students, if I complete the diagram, it is somewhat like this. And now it has a radius r. So if this is radius r, the length vector which you have taken, the length vector AB which you have taken, what is the length vector going to be? If this is radius
Root
r
to
and
r.
this is yeah, so it's going to be
Root to
root 2r, students. So in that case, the force can be written as what? I root 2r into magnetic field B. This is my answer. This is my answer. So understood, students? Everyone understood? So now, okay, we came to know a basic concept of finding out the direction and magnitude. Okay, let's consider a little bit more not sophisticated, but let's talk about this now. Let's consider the wire to be in this form. And now it starts from a position A, ends at a position B. It is carrying a current I like this. In that case, what will be the direction of my force? All of you. What will be the direction of the force? For that, first what I need to do?
Sir, A to B.
Yeah, first I need to consider a length from A to B. Notice, students, the current is being drawn like this so that it gets you confusing. It's the current is in the same direction, so even that is important. So it's basically one current flowing through the conductor from A to B. First thing I told you is consider the length vector A to B in the direction of the current I. Okay, like this. Second thing I told you is to calculate the force, direction of the force. Of course, this is L.
Upwards.
So in that case, yeah. So in that case, right hand rule towards the direction of the length vector. Curl your fingers towards the magnetic field. You'll get an upward force. Force in the upward direction. F is equal to what, students? ILB. F is equal to ILB. This should never come out of your mind. Okay, this should never come out of your mind. But once we got that, tell me what is going to be the magnitude. Simply, F is equal to what? ILAB into B.
Into B.
Yeah, there is nothing about radius here. There's nothing, no catch over here. So it's as easy as it gets. That is my magnitude. Okay. Let's come to another concept, students. This is an important concept. See, these concepts are being done so that you understand what induction motor is, everything. So pay attention. Let's consider magnetic force on an arbitrary shaped wire. Arbitrary shaped wire. Okay. So I'm saying arbitrary was basically the one which we did just now. So what is going to be the difference in this concept, students? Let's say that my wire is starting at this point, ending at this point, and it is like this. So in this case, students, let me say that my current is like this. It starts at A, ends at B. Okay. But my magnetic field, students, is now not in the perpendicular direction. Okay, it's not going to be in perpendicular direction. Let's say my magnetic field is in the rightward direction. Let's say this is my magnetic field, students. So now what is the first thing I told you to do? First, take the length vector. What is going to be my length vector here? In which direction?
A to B.
From A
A
to
to B. Yeah. And the direction will be in A to B. Of course, L, A, B. But students, here listen to me. My length vector this time is not perpendicular to the magnetic field. Is it perpendicular? Do you think it's perpendicular? No, it is not perpendicular. It is definitely making an angle theta. It is definitely making an angle. Length vector is making an angle theta with the magnetic field. In that case, students, let me say that my force F is going to be equal to, of course, direction. How will you decide? Of course, like this, right hand rule, and your force will be in this direction. Okay, this will be my F. What will be the magnitude? ILAB. Okay,
F.
ILAB. Yeah, cross B. Okay, ILAB cross B. And let's do one thing. Let's say, yeah, okay, ILAB cross B. But students, listen to me. You cannot take it directly. You cannot take the length vector in this case directly as LAB. Because why? Because there will be some sine theta associated with this as soon as you open it. ILAB into B sine theta. To eradicate this sine theta, what can we do, students? To eradicate that sine theta, what can we do? Can we take the perpendicular component of this length vector? Can we say if this is LAB, it is having some theta angle with the magnetic field, then I will take a length vector which is perpendicular in this form. It is in this form, and this length vector will be LAB sine theta. This LAB will be LAB into sine theta. Is that understood, students? Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what we are going to get is basically if suppose DF is equal to IDL cross B, this will be equal to what? On integration, I will get F is equal to what? I will get I integration of length vector from which point to which point? A to B is my limits. A to B. Okay. And then DL cross B. That will give me I LAB cross B. LAB sine theta. This is what I will get. Okay, this is what I get. But look at here. Look at this point here. The LAB and sine theta is already available. So I can rearrange the term as IB LAB sine theta. And LAB sine theta is what? The perpendicular component. So the force here is equal to IB into length vector, which is perpendicular in nature. IL B perpendicular, IB L perpendicular. Hope you all have understood this concept. Due to lack of time, we won't be able to continue. Have a nice weekend, all of you all. Hope you all have understood the concepts that we have done today. Take care. Bye bye.